Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here or if you're a lurker, welcome and thank you very much for taking time out of your day to watch my video and to support me. My name is Bella Donna Budgets and I created this channel primarily to document my debt-free journey as well as to track my progress and the process of me using the cash envelope system, because I was inspired by the YouTube budgeting community and there are many amazing budgeters out there, and I will give a shout out to a few of them in a moment. Started watching people's budgeting videos from all over the world and I was inspired, so I decided to jump on the bandwagon, and it has been very good and beneficial to me so far. So if you guys are looking for inspiration and are sitting on the fence in terms of starting this system, I highly recommend it, because not only does it develop the discipline, it also develops the gratitude for what you have, as well as you get to learn more about yourself, your strengths and weaknesses, and how you manage finances. So from those weaknesses and the stuff that you learn about yourself, you're able to figure out what your priorities are and how to balance looking after yourself and looking after your debts. Also, prioritize your needs and wants accordingly. Everybody's budget strategies are different, so please keep in mind that you have to do this according to your finances and what feels good and beneficial for you. So as long as you succeed in the end, that's all we want for you. So thank you very much for listening to my little spiel there, and I want to move on to giving a shout out to these wonderful people. Now, you guys have been subscribed since the beginning, or you guys have left comments, or both, and I just want to give you guys the acknowledgement in terms of inspiring me through your videos and giving me kind words. So in no particular order, I want to acknowledge Belle's Budgets, Roxy's Budget, Jackie Simply Budgets, Budgeting Just Because, Barb M, Beauty Budgets, Natasha Connolly, Natasha Lafont, Jenny Budgets, DM, and Anitra Budgets. So once again, thank you so much for your support. It means a lot to me. Also, a huge apology to you guys for being absent for the past 3 months, and I will explain that at the end of the video after my cash stuffing. So let's get started. Just quickly though, before I start that, I just want to show you that I have made changes from the last video up until now, and this pink binder has seen the most change. So I was watching my last video and I noticed that there are only 4 envelopes that I have been stuffing, but because I have decided to make a point to look after myself and my urges so that I wasn't hiding purchases in my credit card, I decided to create more envelopes and to stuff them accordingly per paycheck so that I don't become reckless with my finances. And speaking of credit card, I want to share good news that ever since mid-July, I got a consolidation loan approved. So that is for my 2 credit cards combined for a total of $17,305. And my monthly payment works out to $420 at 13% variable interest at 54-month term. Now, I can assure you that it's not going to take me 54 months to pay off this amount, and I'm going to make sure of that. My strategy since July is that I've decided to start looking after myself first and making sure that I build securities and to aggressively pay off my debt starting the beginning of the new year. And the reason for that is I want to make sure that I financially have my ducks in a row, such as having an emergency fund and a buffer account. And the thinking during that time was that having these two accounts is going to give me the peace of mind and security so that I'm able to have clarity of mind to be able to tackle my major projects such as YouTube and Etsy. And speaking of Etsy, and going back to my emergency fund and buffer account, after debating with myself for a while, I've decided to take all of the monies that I've had between the two accounts in order to buy more supplies from overseas and from Amazon. And I know that there are a lot of people out there who will criticize this decision, and that is perfectly fine. To each their own. After I made this decision, I didn't feel any regret because I see investing in supplies in order to have for my business as an investment and an opportunity to gain that money back, as well as to, have another source of income in order for me to be able to meet my priorities. So I am making a point that I'm going to pay myself back once I get my Etsy shop up and running. Anyways, I want to go back on topic and not bore you guys too much about my issues. So pretty much the brown envelope stayed the same. With my pink envelope, you can see that there's more envelopes that were added, and please ignore this, it's messy. With my cat's envelope, I've added a fun fluff envelope, and I will explain my rationale for having these envelopes. So yeah. Moving on to this cash breakdown, I have a list of debt here. I have a payment of $420 that's coming out in October 15th. I owe my emergency fund $1,850 to date. I owe my buffer account $600, and I owe my gratitude account $70. So for savings from this paycheck, I put the usual $20 in my gratitude account. And the supplies, I decided to set aside $350 to buy more vinyl and laminating sheets. And this money is the money that I normally would put in the emergency fund and buffer. So yeah. The cash stuffing for this paycheck is $780, and yesterday when I went to the bank to withdraw the money, I had a complete, mind flip. And because I had tallied up this amount on midnight Wednesday, I did make a couple of mistakes. So it's actually not $830. And where I made a mistake was 1120s. In my mind, I totaled $420 when it should be $220. And 550s, I mistakenly totaled to $100 instead of $250. So the teller was kind enough to point out my mistake, and I just told her to follow the tallies, and it works out in the end. So I'm happy with that. Okay, so I'm going to start with my groceries, or my brown bagger, which are my home essential envelopes. Groceries gets its usual $140. However, I spent $50 on groceries, so it's getting $90. So that's gonna be a 50 and 2 20s. And also, to save time or seconds, I've decided to set up my cash tray and fill out my trackers in advance so that I don't have to struggle with writing on a shaky desk. Okay. Household is gonna get a $10 bill, and it should have 85. So it's gonna be 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 85. So gas is empty, and it's gonna get $100. And I do have one thing to say about gas prices now. Starting yesterday, I noticed that the gas prices jumped up to 141.9 per liter, which is the highest I've seen, and I live in Edmonton. So that is redonkulous. So I'm gonna make a point in curbing the temptation to drive around and go to places. Not that I ever get out of the car. I just love to drive around because it feels very liberating for me instead of being stuck in the house. So it's gonna get 2 20s, 4 10s, and 4 5s. And that should be $100. So it's 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. Medical is gonna get $30. So this should now have $230. So 50, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 10, 20, 30. Home maintenance is gonna get a $25 share. And this should now have $70. So 20, 40, 60, 65, 70. Mind you, I did have $250 back in September, but I decided to give that amount to my dad to pay for the electricity that I was using to make products and staying up night and using a lot of electricities. Sucker Punch is gonna get $25. And this should now have $95. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 85, 90, 95. So home maintenance is gonna get $25. And that should now be up to $70. 20, 40, 60, 65, 70. Sucker Punch is getting $25. Sorry for the shakiness. And this should now have $95. 20, 40, 60, 80, 85, 90, 95. Yeah. Hygiene is getting $20. And this should now be up $55. 20, 30, 40, 55. Pantry is gonna get $10. And this should be up to $70. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Family Time is getting beefed up with $30. So yes, I have been delving into this envelope quite a bit because I love cooking steak dinners every second Fridays, or treating my parents out to fried chicken or burgers. Yeah, that makes me very happy. So I'm gonna make it a point to eventually get this up to $500. And also what this envelope is for when guests or family come visit us once in a while. I'm gonna have this money to entertain them. So yeah. So this should be up to $60. So 20, 40, 50, 60. Okay. Onto my cat's envelope. Panther is gonna get $50. So instead of a $50 bill, I've decided to trade the $50 that was originally meant for this envelope for two 20s and a 10. So that's what's gonna get. And he is due for a litter change, and that's what I'm gonna be spending $25 on. Oops. It's just $50 there. Simple. Vet care is getting the next $50. And I just want to show that in September 18th, he had a vet visit and it cost me $115. So he had a shot, and I will talk about it in a bit. But first, $350 to date. 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350. Now, getting back to the shot. What he had was the feline leukemia, and it's the annual shot that he needs to get. And yeah, sorry, I'm confused between the two dates. So yes, it's September 18th, and the following year he's going to need another leukemia shot, and his rabies 3-year booster. And the following year, he has this feline viral rhinotracheitis, calcivirus, and panleukopenia shot, and that is a 3-year booster shot as well. And I'm not gonna get into details about what this is yet, maybe in a future video. So going to the next envelope, which is the medicine, he's getting the usual $25. Put this out here. So the previous $100 that was in here, I spent for October's and November's dosage. So what I have here is the invoice for the 2-month supply of medication. And this is the Revolution ointment that you put in the back of a cat's neck to prevent fleas and ticks, and the Milbamax is for internal parasites because my cat likes to go out and he does hunt mice. And the neighbors do appreciate that. So far, I haven't heard any major complaints. So yes, $25. And the reason why I have a separate envelope for his medicine is because I see it as an ongoing care as opposed to a vet visit related stuff. So that's why I have that. So this is the new envelope that I was talking about moments earlier, which is the Fun Fluff. And it's gonna get $5. So this should now be up $25. 10, 20, 25. Hey. On to my personal binder, which is this pink one. Oops. I have decided to get a second envelope from KaysWallet, and I will put the link to her Etsy shop down below, just because I love her style. And when she introduced this pistachio green color, I was just eyeing it for a long time, and I just decided to make a splurge purchase because I needed a splurge envelope, and I was using this pink one before. So yeah, I have an official splurge envelope from KaysWallet. Highly recommended and excellent quality. So yeah. And this is gonna get its usual $10. So this should now be up $90, which is exciting because it's $10 away from being $100. So at some point, I'm going to do a bill swap for these envelopes because I noticed that there are a few that need their $100 bills. So yeah, keep your eyes out for that. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 85, 90. Personal is gonna get a $10 bill. Coffee is gonna get a $15 share. That's in the form of 3 5s. So last paycheck, I decided to give myself $20 for coffee because I wanted to buy a small bag of coffee grounds and some sugar and cream to have at work. And I initially, looking at it, I didn't think it was gonna last, but every time I make coffee, I always have left over, even when I make like half or less than half. So I don't waste the overage. I just stick them in the fridge and then have the coffee the next day. So yeah, I feel so much better about myself, and I'm considering at some point saving up for a coffee machine at home to make my own coffee as well. So in the meantime, this coffee envelope is gonna go towards my McDonald's purchases weekly. No, not weekly, sorry. Every weekend. Yeah. Clothes is gonna get $100. And this should now have $345. So 100, 250, 300, 20, 30, 45. So I started to beat this up in such a short time because winter is coming, and if you live in Edmonton, we have winters that can dip down to -40 and once in a blue moon -50. I used to work in a warehouse with large bay doors where the trailers and the semi trailer backs into, so we can unload all the skids. And there was one day where we were totally unprepared for it. We had to work in the warehouse at -51 degrees. So everyone pretty much suffered, and we're all miserable, but it started to get better during the day, but only slightly, and then the days after. So if you've never experienced that, I hope that you never will, because it's not fun. And I also feel sorry for the people who have to take the bus and have to wait for the bus in this type of weather, because that used to be me a few times as well. So there have been instances during the winter and it's -40 where people have to wait an hour or two for the bus to come. And in extreme cases, they have to wait 4 hours in this type of weather. And I have heard stories where there are kids in this type of situation crying to their moms, but what can you do, right? And that is because the buses have broken down or got stuck in a snowbank, so they have to call a new bus and people have to wait. And there have been situations where a large group of people are waiting for the bus, but 2 to 3 buses would come, which are all packed. And by the time the 4th or 5th bus comes that can accommodate people, it cannot accommodate everyone, but only a few. So only those people are lucky. So yeah, that's my -40 Edmonton weather stories to share, if you're interested in knowing what it's like. But I hope you never have to experience it, because it's torture. Enough of my rambling. Beauty is not gonna get anything. And if you notice, I haven't gotten my nails done. That's because I decided to not do my nails anymore. It changes the way that I use my fingers, and it's very awkward when I type or when I chop things, because I cook quite often. And there have been times where I chipped the nails and had close calls, and luckily I was able to pull the pieces out completely and everyone's safe. And also, it doesn't feel very comfortable on my nails, and it feels foreign. So I just decided to just scrap that. So I apologize if my hands look unappealing. That's how it's going to be with me. Moving out is gonna get $20. So as I mentioned, I do plan to move out at some point, and I've started to do baby steps with this envelope, which I started mid-July. So with this $25, it should now be up $90. So 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 85, 90. So this is close to 100 as well, which is very exciting. Continuing education, I'm gonna beef up just a little with a $50 bill. And this should now be up $115. So 50, 70, 90, 100, 5, 10, 15. Etsy is gonna get $25. So I want to have some cash on hand to buy printer ink or to save up in case I need to go Michael's when certain things are on sale. It seems like every end of season, Michael's has a 40% sale on Cricut vinyl and accessories. And I have been very fortunate that I was able to buy things during those sales on 2 occasions. So I am anticipating around the end of October-ish. But, you know, who knows? I just like to have money for things like that on hand. So this should now have $75. 20, 40, 50, 20, 40, 60, 65, 70, 75. So eating out is another one that I've created, and I just love how simple and clean this design looks. Yeah. So this envelope was created when I got in touch with a former colleague of mine. Now, she had been quite generous in inviting me often to her house, and she would cook me dinner, which, you know, she's a Red Seal in cooking, and she's been in the hospitality industry. So I always appreciate her effort, and her food is always delicious. So I told her I wanted to treat her out for a steak dinner, which happened back in August. And I saved up $250 for it because it's better for me to have more than enough than to have just barely enough or to worry about not having enough at all. And I want to share with you something that had happened. So I ordered a 20-ounce ribeye, and I had added shrimp and scallop Oscar to put on top of the steak. So as I was eating and chatting with her, I felt this piece of shell in my mouth. Luckily, I wasn't hurt or anything, so I just pulled it out, and I brought it to the waiter's attention. She apologized, and I said, you know what, just as an FYI, not a big deal. So what I didn't know was that she told her manager, and her manager came by our table, and she had to look at the shell, took it, and showed the kitchen staff. And I told the manager, just an FYI, no big deal. These things happen from human error. So what she did was she took my ribeye off the bill, including the shrimp and scallop Oscar. And that was like $60-something, if I remember it correctly. Plus, she also took our desserts off the bill. So I ended up paying $34.13. And as you can see here, the mini dessert and Billy Minor pie on us. So I ended up, you know, tipping them both generously because, you know, they are lovely people, and I totally appreciate and I'm grateful for their accountability. It was very professional and it was very kind. So we need more people like that in the world, and I feel that it would make it a better place for all of us. And for me, it is a very good lesson in how to treat my future customers, especially when they're not happy with products, because I've also been an unhappy customer and I have worked in the fast food industry, so I do understand. So yeah, I thought I'd share that with you guys and give it life once again. This envelope only has $5, and as you can see, I did go ham on the rest of the money. Close to where I work are a bunch of really good restaurants, especially this pierogi place that I absolutely adore. And I use the money for work group lunches as well. So I'm gonna make it a point in the future to regularly stuff this envelope, because I don't want to be borrowing money from other envelopes in order to eat out. So I'm planning on just putting a set allowance once a month and see how that goes. Yeah. Gifts, getting $15. And this should now be up $60. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Birthdays, getting $10. And this should now be up $50. So I have 20, 30, 40, 45, 50. Okay. Yes. Christmas is getting $10. And this should now be up 90, and also exciting because it's $10 away from being $100. So 20, 40, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90. Lotto is getting $5, and this is my personal Lotto envelope. There's nothing here. Easy peasy. Work Lotto is getting the last $5 bill. And this should now have $15. 5, 10, 15. Okay. Cash stuffing done. Now, if you've made it this far, thank you very much for staying with me and supporting me. And if you're only here for the cash stuffing, that is perfectly fine. I am grateful nonetheless. I hope you have a good evening or have a good morning, whichever part of the world you're from. I had to think about that for a moment. I have this issue where I have 2 to 3 ways of saying things, and they all want to come out at the same time, which is why I tend to pause at times, because I need to learn to slow my mind down and filter my words properly so that it comes out in a cohesive manner. So yeah, that's one of my struggles when it comes to speech habits. Anyways, if you're still here with me and you're curious to know as to why I have been absent for the past 3 months, let me tell you that back in July, my laptop had to be sent out for repair because it burnt out. So I had purchased this laptop through Best Buy, and I had purchased the monthly protection plan. So luckily, having it sent out to Vancouver for repair didn't cost anything more than what I pay monthly because it's included. And I was lucky to be able to get my laptop back around 2.5 weeks later, and I was very excited. So when I opened my laptop, there were things that changed. So all the files that I put into particular folders in my documents are no longer there, but they're in this OneDrive, this OneDrive folder, and the stuff that I have made in Word documents are no longer there, or maybe they're there but I couldn't find them. And some of the stuff that I have saved when it comes to videos, they're now in different folders. So when I got my laptop back, the biggest hurdle and disappointment for me was that I was unable to upload my videos to my laptop. Let me explain. I use Filmora 10 as my video editor, and there is an option for me to import videos and photos directly from my iPhone. However, it keeps telling me that I don't have anything to import, or the device is not found, or the folder is empty. So I did much research on changing the privacy settings and making sure that it is unlocked so that all the pictures and videos are able to upload smoothly into the computer and into Filmora 10. When I check my device and I click the Apple folder and then click the pictures, the folder was empty. So I have been racking my brains as to why this is the case. And when all 500 plus of my files that are in my phone, which would normally download or import into my laptop, are not able to do so during this time. So that really put a dent in my motivation, and I felt discouraged for a while. So when this happens, my tendency is to just, become disillusioned and to become a little lazy as time passes by. But during this time, I didn't give up. So at the end of August, thankfully through a friend, he told me that I can download everything that I have saved in my iCloud to my laptop, and from there I can upload my videos into Filmora 10. So yay, friend, thank you. I do confess that I am not technologically savvy, and this is something that is a huge learning curve for me, and I have to keep pressing on despite all of these challenges, because that's how we learn. And despite the fact that I get discouraged easily, I haven't stopped. So I was pretty much going at snail's pace, and that is why I haven't been able to upload the 7 videos that I have made every time I got paid. Now, my question to you guys is it moot at this point to upload those videos, or would you be interested in seeing those? Please leave your comments, or if not, also leave your comments as well. I would appreciate that. With regards to me not launching my Etsy shop yet, behind the scenes, I have been creating prototypes and coming up with designs so that they are designs that I will be happy to sell to my potential customers. and it usually will take me, quite a while to come up with designs, because I this time was very experimental for me, and I didn't want to put anything sloppy into Etsy to sell, because I do care about quality, appearance, style, and the durability of a product. And most important to me is that I want to make people smile with my designs and my products. If you've stuck it with me to this point, thank you very much once again for your love and support and taking time out of your day to watch my videos. I hope that I have provided something that is of relevance to you that you can take away from. And if you'd like to support me, please hit the like button, because it really helps me out, as well as consider clicking the subscribe button. Till then, I will see you in 2 weeks when I get paid again. And I hope you have a great morning, afternoon, or evening, and do stay safe.